Alright, so this is one of many, I think, inspirations the universe has sent me. Um, just to prove, I guess, that I'm on the right track. Just obviously, everybody's different, so it's going to be a different thing. But but the essence, and the, I guess, core principles are the same. So let's look at what this. God dang it! Alright, let's look at what this guy's doing. This is one of two videos, and then the next part is gonna go into researching or showing you my research into looking to who this guy is and what's on the internet and what they're saying about him and all this other stuff. So let's continue.
Meet Bashar. Hi, my name is Bashar, and I got arrested 8 times. Bashar grew up in Nablus,
I got arrested too,
as a kid, he would regularly
and my first girlfriend was
criticize the
Palestinian.
occupation by throwing the rocks at them. But my rocks didn't go far. They did, however,
Exactly.
get arrested by Israel 8 times. Then he realized he
Forget the
needed an
violence.
effective way to be heard.
Exactly.
So he moved to the US, pursued an engineering
Mm-hmm.
degree, opened 30 businesses, got into real estate,
Got
and
into real
got
estate.
rich.
Exactly.
Rich
Rich enough.
enough.
Exactly.
He decided to make the biggest gamble of his life. He launched a $1 billion campaign
Now,
to build a new city from scratch in the middle of Palestine.
shit.
40,000 people.
So now that's what I meant to do. Not stopping it. And now I don't know if he, how much he's actually worth. So let's say if he's worth 2 billion or 3 billion, then dropping 1.4 billion is not really a risk per se. Now, yes and no, right? Because see, that's where every word and every statement in a sense can be pretty loaded. It's a risk relative to how most billionaires think, right? Jeff Bezos, fucking Bill Gates, just a bunch of fucking foolish billionaires, basically. Um, but it's not a gamble in the sense that if he still has, another billion in his back pocket, it's not really a risk. I mean, come on now. It's only a risk if his lifestyle is crazy. But now that I stopped this video, now we're getting to see the actual design of it. As you can see, it's pretty symmetrical, which makes sense. Symmetry just makes a lot of sense. Period. But again, I'm gonna look into it, and basically what the more important thing that always comes to my mind is what exactly are these buildings doing? So I can see some solar panels there. I don't know if it will be enough to actually generate power for the whole city, but that also depends on probably how they designed it. Again, where is their food going to come from, and a bunch of other stuff. But this terrain, though, at least it looks very like Colorado-like. So I dig that that this terrain is like Colorado, so it kind of gives a scope of how it's going to look. But anyways, yes, and then I got to see that it houses 40,000 people, and then the cost. So it gives me basically a cost per person, and what I can or what I or the group, hopefully the crowd. But again, it usually takes someone like this to get the crowd going. So imagine, which I'm sure he has, but his crowd is probably from his wealthy people who probably just whatever donated $1 million or whatever on top of his 1.4 billion, and got tax deductions or whatever. But the point is, yeah, imagine if he had the whole crowd, and again he does. He has a crowd in the sense of the Israelis supporting him, and again whoever else is supporting him. But when I'm talking about the crowd, I'm talking about the everyday Joe Schmo, with 9 to 5 job, who's sick of their 9 to 5 job but has enough money to contribute. Not just once. I'm talking about a monthly donation. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take a monthly donation, obviously as much as you can afford, right? And of course you have to believe in the project. But with my proposal, even though I'll build off all this infrastructure, if you buy in, I will start cutting my equity share of all of it, because it will generate money. It's all business. So we're speaking the language of in a sense, quote unquote, capitalism. The only thing we remove is greed, because greed can affect any ism. It doesn't matter if it's capitalism, socialism, it doesn't matter. With or without money, you can have greed and disastrous, control freaks or whatever, and a bunch of scared people. So anyways, listen to the rest.
And create 10,000 new jobs for Palestinians. And his project has worldwide support, even from many Israelis. This is the crazy story
Exactly.
decided to build an entire city out of them. And that
That's what I'm saying, you know. So all these people that are like, "Oh, let's get guns," blah 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 blah. What's his name on Facebook? I'm not even gonna mention him, but you know, on my feed, you're like, "Oh, let's get guns and kill the rich and blah blah." It's like, dude, it's like they have the army, they got the police, and they got every general citizen brainwashed that they will join the police, you know, against you. You know, like that famous meme with the Matrix saying that, you know, a lot of them will actually kill you. And, you know, people that you're thinking are innocent and trying to free will actually become your enemy and want to kill you. Okay? So that is ineffective. We are in an economic warfare. That's how you fight now. You fight with your dollar. You don't fucking raise a gun up and all this other shit, because if people actually pull their money together, money and talent together, and organize just as good and even better than the organized institutions of America and across the world, you can usher in a whole new system without even firing a bullet. Now, don't get me wrong, you may have to fire a bullet, because like Conversation with God says, you know, contrary to most people's beliefs or whatever, and they would you know, they were like, this can't be God because God would never advocate violence. No, 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 no. There's a difference between enacting violence slash force to preserve life versus to destroy life. And sometimes you are going to have to fight to preserve life. You know, you're not in war to destroy life. You're in war against certain group of people that have a mission of destroying life, or putting you know, people under some kind of, you know, oppression. That is a different story. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but let it come to your door, you know. um, yeah, you know, kind of like maybe a Waco shit, you know. But again, the Waco is kind of a bad analogy because they had this stupid religion and all kinds of shit. This is not religious. There's no religion and none of this shit. If anything, I will suggest not to bring any new age, old age fucking bullshit into this thing. We have to unify in our commonalities, which we're building a city, so we need to secure our water, we need to secure our food, we need to secure our housing, we need to secure our energy, and we need to secure our medicine. After that, then we can start contemplating other things. But we have to build, that base, basically of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You have to build that base and revolve around that base first. So, anyways, yes, if they come to us, then so be it. But again, again, the hope is that there'll be many different, in a sense, cells across not only America but the world that will get moving with basically building. For example, right? To give you some kind of context, you see these buildings. Looking at how he's dressed and all this other stuff, it is pretty. It'd be a pretty good educated guess that all of this was built in a BIM model. So he has the architectural firm, or the firms that came together to design all this together, right? The many different disciplines, basically, which is architects, structural engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, plumbing engineers. Um, they have a master file in a sense, and that's what they go off of. So we can say, hey, give us that master file, and then just start. Either we edit it or we just copy and say, hey, it works, because I'm sure they have some lessons learned from their process. But what's it called? Yeah, they can share with us lessons learned, and maybe we can modify our thing, and also maybe even put things that we speculate or think are going to be good. And then when we do build it, by the time someone else gets their act together somewhere part of the world, they can look at us, be like, okay, now that you guys have built this and you've been using it, is there anything you would improve? And then they would, in a sense, theoretically, the next group to build from that similar model will probably have a newer, better design. So, anyways, let's get to it.
was the most effective rock he ever threw. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow.
Okay, so that he did that video, and then shit. Oh, come on, you gotta be kidding me. What a bunch of horseshit. Okay, this is the second video.
Top of a city in the middle of Palestine, because this is the city of.
Let's pause it here for a second. So I definitely like kind of like the terrace feel, where it's, you know, a little, you know, top part and then it keeps going down and down. I don't know if they're gonna paint this in a sense, but it would be nice to have some color. But if not, again, at the beginning, because it is prototype and to actually save money, you might not want to. You know, you may have, I don't know, the people who live in the building want to paint their own building in a different color. Who knows? Whatever, you know. But anyways, that's why I mean, some of our stuff might not look pretty in the beginning, but it's just meant, like most prototypes, just think of it as, you know, any other product that goes through a prototype phase, right? It doesn't usually look pretty. The most important thing in the beginning of designing something is just, you know, design something that is functional, that will prove a concept. Then you start you know, fucking with the aesthetics and everything else. But so people should not focus too much on pretty yet, but more on functionality. But I think we're obviously going to have a good balance anyways, because again, we're pre-modeling everything in 3D first. So
Rawabi, one of the only cities in the world built entirely by business, not government.
exactly. So now if you tie this with the Mondragon video that I made, right? As they did, the business built all their infrastructure. Sure, slowly, because they didn't have a billionaire drop $1 billion, you know, and just fucking expedite the process. You know, it took them many years, but the fact of their success. So if you combine both, you know, which I hope to do with my billions of dollars. I mean, for the longest time, you know, I was just thinking in the millions of dollars, and I still will acquire that, but it still may take me investing those millions of dollars into the many different inventions that I have in my mind, putting them out there like this guy, creating 30 businesses, and getting into real estate to accumulate that wealth, and then do this, and then on top of it, again, get the crowd to put more money on it. But the principles will be the same. The businesses will be structured as cooperatives, so everybody owns a piece of the pie and thus is incentivized to give their maximum effort, you know. And of course, the environment that I will create and I've designed also brings out the best in you. I'm talking about the very, very best, you know. Sure, you know, if you look, the younger the kids, the better. For you older people that are gonna be coming in, ooh, it's gonna be painful, all right. You know, you might even quit, and I don't give a fuck. I'll give you back your money that you bought into, because it's, again, that's the beautiful thing about equity. All right, I'll give you what you put in and get the fuck out. I'm sorry, it just is what it is. The reason I speak this way is because we have limited time. So imagine how people act when there's an emergency. There's no time to fucking debate this shit in a sense. Right now we're in an emergency for the most part. So, you know, I'm not gonna waste my time dealing with people who I know are just gonna basically cause problems. You know, if you have a problem and you're not coming with design and basically a very well video, you know, with 3D animation, hopefully you're skilled at that or whatever, or maybe you find another engineer, you know, or whatever, creator to you know, digitize your idea so everybody actually understands what you're talking about. You won't be listened to. That will be the new form of, let's say, government per se. So anybody in a sense can be a quote unquote politician, but when you propose something, you better understand a lot of things in a sense, you know. Again, engineering basically what it's going to boil down to, you know. So yeah, yeah, you older people coming into the project, you probably will think it's painful, but if you push through it, you will become an amazing person, you know, and only add to the strength of our community, not be a winkus link or something like that. Anyways.
This cost $1.4 billion and made possible by this guy, who is crazy enough to build a city with an underground theme park, above ground mountain view, tech incubators, offices, good restaurants, shopping centers. It's cool. And a state of the.
Now, see, I don't know about the shopping centers. Right, you know, I knew I was going to find something I disagree. But yes, those shopping centers, for the most part, I mean, we shall see. But again, the culture we're trying to instill, in a sense, just temporarily, again, this is all temporary, is somewhat of a minimalist society. because we understand that until we start like mining asteroids and shit like that, what, and also recapture all the waste that we just have sitting in landfill, to continue providing superficial products, especially to please women because they are the number one consumers. I'm sorry, ladies, but look at the data. Please don't be emotional. There's a lot of women out there on YouTube now becoming rational to a certain degree, especially within the context of this in a sense ideological third wave feminism virus, in a sense, that affects the mind, that only views life from a female perspective and totally overlooks males, to a great uh, um was it disregard. But yet look who built the infrastructure. I mean, look who's funding this. What about that the lady from fucking Harry Potter. Okay, she's giving a lot of her money to some charities, but which charities? Who's gonna take time to investigate that shit? And chances are, because we already know, most charities, the money gets wasted, and it gets wasted. Okay, so let alone is she even using that to get a tax advantage or whatever. But point being, there's women also that inherit billions of dollars from their dead husbands and shit, and they ain't doing shit like this. Okay, so it's all about merit until we see more females doing this, especially the ones that have inherited wealth. Okay, the sole praise will fall upon men like this and men like me.
English school with fingerprint scanners for attendance for kids. A place for a mosque, a church, a winery, and a real Roman theater, the largest in the Middle East. This is all built by Palestinians for Palestinians, and women are involved.
Exactly. And it's funny, the irony is that Middle Eastern women kill it. They kill it on the scientific front. They kill it, compared to these Western women. And they're not even that liberated, quote unquote liberated. Even in some of these very, very true patriarchal fucking Muslim countries, I've seen women that are fucking killing it, killing it. So there's no excuse. There's just no excuse. The fact of the matter is that most of you are lazy. The data is there. Though 60% of you go to college, within the context of STEM fields, you are but a minority. All right, and then they're even changing test times and shit like that just to cater to you, just to make you feel like you're competent enough. So talk about equality, being treated equal, and now we're changing shit. Now, of course, it's gonna help some males too, in a sense, indirectly, but the fact of the matter is that's what's happening. Your feelings don't change facts. So if you really want to make a positive impact to the world, you have to understand your emotions and put them aside to be objective as much as possible and really look at the data. So, yes. So people who think, oh, you're bashing women. No, I love women. I love women. But now it's time for males to stop coddling them and then labeling them and basically not raising the responsibility. All right? Yes, they're pretty faces. Your dicks are going to get hard and all this other bullshit. But if you don't do that, what you get is what we got now. You have a level of disrespect, of naiveness, of just, it's just utterly, just, yeah, it's just complete disrespect. That's what it is. They have no respect for the men who have built the infrastructure that even allows them to have their comfy little fucking office jobs. Like certain women and certain men have said, until they come and start doing all the coal mining, all the so-called dirty and death jobs, then we'll talk about equality. Until then, all right, all these office jobs can't even exist if males don't build none of this shit, design all this shit, because we are responsible for this shit. Sure, you pop us out of your wombs, but what good is to pop out a kid out of your womb if you have a shithole of a place, that no one improved, right? If males didn't improve anything, they didn't build anything, all right? So you are the ones that now have to check your privilege, your insanity, right? And fucking expand your knowledge, because what you're doing is you're eventually going to have males give up, and a lot of males, not like me, a lot of males are going to slap you. They are going to hurt you, okay? And you can't blame him in a sense because that's what nature does. If you hit someone with a hammer over and over again, of course you're not hitting them directly, but what you're doing is you're using other males who worship your pussy as proxy, aka the police and the government, all right, to do your bidding. Then when men rise up to that government, guess what? Who they're also gonna be hating in a sense, and not. I mean, they're still gonna need you because they still gotta reproduce and all this stuff, but they won't trust you. You get what I'm saying? The trust is being eroded. You are eroding trust and respect. So in a sense, if you don't correct your ways, be expected to be treated like you were in the past. Something to fuck, something to impregnate, and something to still protect, so that we can produce kids for the tribe. All right, and ideally men. So women will probably be killed again because if we get blasted back to the fucking Stone Age, this is what's gonna happen. All right.
People wonder what the future state of Palestine would look like. And to those I say, you're looking at it. That's 1 minute. See you tomorrow! Nice. That was good. Thank you.
Now we shall see if in a sense, nothing bad happens with the constant conflict between them two. But again, I think the Israelis themselves, this would be their test, would be like, okay, well, now that these, in a sense, these Muslim savages, because in a sense they are, and there's other savages that are from, basically, it's just that's the fucking problem with religion, period. Okay, because if you look at actual history before Islam really started taking root and shit like that, Muslims were quite intelligent. I mean, just look at the Ottoman Empire and all this other shit. They weren't perfect. I'm just saying that things were a lot different before this whole Islam shit. It's not like Islam's been there forever and controlled these people forever. No, So, yes, some of them are acting. Some of the stuff that the Israelis are talking about is justified. They do act retarded. Period. So once they come up to their level, are educated and don't act like fucking morons in a sense because of their religious beliefs, then they're gonna slowly build the respect of Israelis. Okay. Again, I'm not saying Israelis are perfect either. They're a bunch of well, not all of them. Again, obviously it's never all of them, but the group mentality right now being herded by certain shepherds is very, very caustic to a negative towards Palestinians, as we can see. So, but I'm sure both of them have their legitimate issues, and until one or the other rises up and understands why, like I said, part of it would be the Muslims and kind of letting go some of their stupid religious beliefs at the exact same time, like the Israelis releasing their letting go some of their stupid religious beliefs, then we're going to come to an accord. But as we already know, in a sense, Israelis speak money, all right? So they speak business. So if he sets up these jobs and these people get educated, right? Like you said, he did the tech incubators and all this other shit and getting women up to power and all this other crap, right? And the kids, right, into the modern day field or whatever. Hopefully he's balancing with the construction aspect because we're losing that here in the West. Then things will be a different story. I guarantee you that. But on the other hand, they could get bombed for whatever reason. But I doubt they will, though, because again, usually the people that are bombed are those that are extremely religious and using religion to justify more war and hate against the Israelis. And then the Israelis, once you attack them, they have to justify, and of course, again, neither group is right or wrong entirely. Both groups have a piece of the puzzle, and they have to figure that out. So, but in the meantime, it's great that this guy's doing this shit. This is what I'm talking about. This is where, in a sense, even though my law that I will propose, in a sense, that we enact would hurt us. Would hurt us. With the exception that even with my law, in a sense, it still could happen. So let's say $25 million is the cap. That you get. So you get to keep $25 million. After that, you get to donate whatever you want. So if he were to create an institution or somebody else, that he knows would create it, and he could donate the rest of his excess money that he made beyond $25 million, then it can go towards this. It can still be done. But the fact of the matter is that we don't have that. So let's go into what we're at right now. Okay, that's my problem with a lot of other groups. You know, they're projecting themselves too much into the future and not looking how things function now. In a sense, oh, well, in the future we can do this and blah blah. Who gives a fuck? What's going on now? So obviously, what's going on now, in a sense, this lack of income cap, right, has allowed this guy to accumulate a vast amount of wealth, but he's using it better than probably better than anybody else in a sense. Because imagine if he decided to pay all his workers a higher wage or whatever, where it wouldn't allow him to become a billionaire. You think those workers and their education and their lack of insight in a lot of different things, because this guy's fucking probably smart as fuck. I mean, you don't come to these ideas without being smart to a certain degree. I mean, come on, look, engineer and then 30 businesses and then real estate. This guy knows what the fuck's up, in my opinion. Okay, so what was that? Yeah, if he were to have been so altruistic and gave more money to his employees, again, I don't know how much he paid them and stuff like that, whatever, who knows. But let's just say all things being fair and true or whatever, he paid him the fair market wage for their level of skill, right? Imagine if he says, oh, you know what? On top of it, because I'm such a nice guy, I'm gonna give you more money. That money would have been squandered. I guarantee you, would have been squandered, and he wouldn't have been able to do this. So that's where this is where people, some altruistic people be like, no, you should have gave your money to more of his workers and blah blah blah. It's like, okay, so what? So they can go fucking fuck more, have more kids, and have more need to spend and buy crap that's gonna end up in the garbage or in the garage and never share with anybody? That's fucking retarded. Period. So hopefully you guys catch my drift. The reason I'm feeling this way is because, in a sense, we are running out of time, and most of you are just fucking apathetic as fuck, and the law is there are no victims and villains in this universe, period. You're only victims of your own unconscious, unconfronted fears. And that's why there has never been a God that has come and saved, seemingly innocent people. That's not God's job, in a sense, as God said itself. It is not. I don't show my love by not allowing you to demonstrate yours. You see, yours, by not allowing you to demonstrate yours. So it's your responsibility, in a sense. More importantly, your opportunity. It's not even an obligation or responsibility, but it's an opportunity to express love. All right. And this fake love that Hollywood has conjured up to keep you passive, and anybody that, like me, you're gonna think, oh, you're just negative and blah blah blah. It's like, okay, what the fuck are you doing? Are you doing anything similar to this guy at all? Are you proposing? No. What are you doing? You're watching more TV, probably still watching the shit that you claim to hate, at the same watching documentaries that only make you fearful of the world and make you feel like such a victim and helpless victim, and what can I do? Oh my god, poor me, blah blah blah. That's why you're gonna remain in your situation, and the bulk mass of you are gonna remain in that situation. I know a lot of this will not fall on most people's ears, but I don't care about that. All I care is the people who are ready to listen, ready to fucking actually humble themselves to truth, whether it comes in a harsh manner or in a very sugar-coated passive manner. Okay, truth is truth, and let's get to a pragmatic aspect of it. Okay, not just, oh, pretty words, pretty memes, oh, everything's good now because I've talked well and I didn't insult anybody, didn't hurt anybody's feelings, even what you said wasn't even offensive, because now we, again, with this cult victimhood, everything's offensive, everything's a fucking trigger. Yay, congratulations, feminism. This is your outcome. Now you have a bunch of males and females just claiming victimhood all the time, and it seems to be a selling factor now. So, anyways, so be it.